How you doing, and welcome to Neither Real Music. I'm Ed, and these are the Bass-ics. If you've been following along, we have been working in the key of C major. Today we're going to be looking at the last mode in the key of C major, a B Locrian scale in 7th position. Before we get started, please remember to subscribe and ring the bell so you know when your next lesson is coming. 7th position means that our fingers are going to be locked in our 7th, 8th, 9th, and 10th fret. So my first finger will be in my 7th fret, my second finger will be in my 8th, my third finger will be in my 9th, and my fourth will be in my 10th. So to get this started, we're going to start with my first finger in my 7th fret of my 4th string, B. After that will be my second finger in my 8th fret of my 4th string, C. And from there we're going to go to my 4th finger in my 10th fret of my 4th string, D. From there we move down a string. First finger in my 7th fret of my 3rd string, E. After that will be my second finger in my 8th fret of my 3rd string, F. And then my 4th finger in my 10th fret of my 3rd string, G. We move down a string again to my first finger in my 7th fret of my 2nd string, A. And last will be my 3rd finger in my 9th fret of my 2nd string, B. Let's take a look at that all together. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B. This scale is going to be the one that sounds the most odd. Locrian is a very dark sounding scale when used. It could sometimes almost sound out of place. But I assure you, if you put it in the right spot, it does some really cool things. So let's take a look at this with a little bit of time and a tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's look at this with a tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. From here, we're going to start playing this idea descending. So we're going to be starting with my 3rd finger on my 9th fret of my 2nd string, B. Going back to my 1st finger on my 7th fret of my 2nd string, A. Move up a string to my 4th finger in my 10th fret of my 3rd string, G. Then to my 2nd finger in my 8th fret of my 3rd string, F. Then to my 1st finger in my 7th fret of my 3rd string, E. We move up a string again to my 4th finger in my 10th fret of my 4th string, D. From there we go to my 2nd finger in my 8th fret of my 4th string, C. And last, 1st finger, 7th fret, 4th string, B. Let's put this all together with a little bit of time and a tab. So let's hear that all together, one right after the other. B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B. Now let's hear that with some time and a tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's hear that with a tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. From From here, we're going to put the B Locrian scale together, ascending and descending, stopping on our high note 2 times. So that will sound like this. B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, B, A, G, F, E, D, C, B. So let's try that with some time in a tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's hear that with a tab. 1, 2, 3, 4. As you learn all these different modes, we have gone through a lot of different positions on the bass. If you are reciting your letters while you're playing them, it is a great opportunity to learn where an enormous amount of the letters are across the entire fretboard of the bass. So if you haven't been doing that, I highly recommend going back to the beginning of this series and running over everything that you've learned while saying your letters out loud. This will really ensure that you remember where they are all across the instrument. I hope lessons like this are really helping you become a better player. If they are, please consider subscribing. Ring the bell so you know when your next lesson comes. I want to grow this channel, so every subscription helps tremendously. If you would like to know a bit more, consider joining my Patreon, where I can go into a lot more depth, and if you have questions, I could possibly make a video for that. If you have questions on this, please put them in the comments below. Compliments are nice, but questions let me know that you're working on these things. Good luck and good practice.